Hi everyone, this is Mr. Jarrett, and today I want to talk to you about two types of adjectives, compound adjectives and participial adjectives. Now, I want to begin by reminding everyone what adjectives are. I think we all know what adjectives are, right? What is an adjective? It's a part of speech that describes something else in a sentence. Do you know what it describes usually? It describes a noun or modifies a noun, a person, place, thing, or idea. So you might have something that says this is the blue cup, and the cup is a noun and blue is the color. So it is describing the noun and what color it is. Even a number is going to be an adjective, so you might say there are 4 cats outside. The adjective in this sentence is 4, because it's a number that describes how many cats there are. Now, while we've all done a lot of practice with adjectives so far, the thing I want to talk about today, first one is compound adjectives. So this is where you are going to take 2 words and put them together to make an adjective. Both words might not be adjectives. You might have a noun and something else. But anyway, it is putting 2 words together and they are describing a noun. Now, oftentimes when you do this, most times actually, you're going to put a hyphen in the middle. Now let's look at some examples of compound adjectives. One would be high paying. Now, something to notice here with the word high paying is you might have a high paying job. Now you could have a paying job, and this means that the job is paying, right? You are receiving money to do this job. When you add the extra word at the front, high paying, with the first word, you are adding extra information about this adjective. So you are saying not only is it a paying job, it is a high paying job. You are getting a lot of money for it. You also can have educated. Now we have many educated students here, but if I want to make a compound adjective, I can say we have many well-educated students here. Not only are we all educated, we're also well educated. We have been educated very, very well. We're high class, right? Another one would be brightly lit. Now you can have a lit room, but maybe there's just a candle or something. But if there's a room with a lot of lights and it's very bright, so bright that you even maybe squint like this when you see it, it is a brightly lit room. It is a very bright room. It is lit. Not only is it lit, it is brightly lit. So I point that out because I want you to remember, oftentimes the case is the first word is going to add extra detail or extra information to the second word. Now, we put hyphens in here, as I mentioned, and I want to give some examples about why we need to put that hyphen. This is not the case for every word or every compound adjective, but for example, you might have the compound adjective world famous, and here you see world hyphen famous. Now let's look at this sentence. This is a world famous for celebrities. Now here, world famous is not a compound adjective. This is saying this is a world is a noun, and the world is famous for celebrities. So the only adjective that we have here is famous, and it is describing what? It's describing the world, right? But when we put these 2 words together and we put a hyphen in the middle, then we can say, this is a world famous celebrity. Now here, what is the noun that's being described? It's not world, it's celebrity. And this celebrity is world famous. Famous all over the world. That's why we're putting those together. Now I have a funny example here. We can have the compound adjective man eating. I can say the sentence, I saw a man eating a fried caterpillar. Sounds kind of yucky, but sometimes people do it. Now here, the man is doing the verb. He is eating a fried caterpillar, right? But if I put these together, man eating with a hyphen in the middle, I saw a man eating caterpillar. Now this changes the sentence completely, right? This is a man eating caterpillar. It is a caterpillar that eats people. So it might be a very big caterpillar. It's a big monster that's going all through this neighborhood. We have to be very careful for the man-eating caterpillar. So this is the reason we put the hyphen here, is because we want to make our meaning very, very clear, and then you can understand what is going on in the sentence as you read it. We'll talk more about compound adjectives a little bit later, because now I want to move to participial adjectives. So what happens here is you are starting with a verb, an action, and you're using it to describe a noun. And to do that, we are going to add ing or we're going to add ed. And there's a big difference in what you're going to do here. So let's say I have the word entertain. Entertain is a verb, and I'm going to entertain you right now. But if I say this is an entertaining actor or entertaining artist, that means that person is very good at entertaining others, right? So entertaining now is an adjective that describes the person. It describes the actor or it describes the artist, and you know that person is entertaining to be around. Or you can say, we were entertained by the comedian. So now it's not just that the comedian is entertaining, it's that we have a feeling. We feel entertained. And that's an adjective because it's describing us. It is describing our feeling. So with that, the most confusing part of these types of adjectives is you can have ing or you can have ed. When you have ing, you are describing the noun, a trait of that noun. So like I said, an entertaining comedian, an entertaining actor, that is describing that person, right? But when I said we were entertained, that is our feeling. So when you have ed, that means you are describing a feeling or something that is happening to the person. The reason I mention this is because many students make mistakes with these types of adjectives. So one major example that we hear very often, you can say, I am boring. Sometimes the students say this, but they don't mean I am boring. When you say I am boring, what that means is other people feel bored to be with me because I am not fun. I am a not fun person if I am a boring person, if I am boring. That's not what you usually mean to say. Usually you mean to say I am bored. I feel bored because bored, ed, is the feeling. The verb is bore, and you're going to say I feel bored. Why? Because something is boring. This movie is boring. This game is boring. This class is boring. So I feel bored, right? Be careful with that. Another funny one that you hear sometimes is, so we have the verb embarrass, right? It's kind of feeling shame about something. You might say, I am embarrassing. No, that's not what you mean to say. I am embarrassing means other people feel embarrassed to be around me because I'm so embarrassing. No, what you mean is I am embarrassed. I feel embarrassed. The situation is embarrassing, right? So again, be very careful and try to practice it if you can. There are going to be some practice opportunities in the book as well. So I'll give an example here. The movie was, so I felt, and we're going to use the word excite. So the movie was, so I felt, We need to use excite 2 times, but 2 different participial adjectives. So what do you think? The movie was exciting. So I felt excited. We can also say, let's use the verb confuse. The grammar skill was so the students felt The grammar skill was confusing, so the students felt confused. I think you get it, right? So let's look at a little bit of examples. We can make some sentences together. We'll begin with participial adjectives, and then we'll go on to compound adjectives. So let's use the word working, okay? So we need to use working, and it doesn't mean I am working right now. That's just the verb of the sentence. We need to use it as an adjective to describe something. So usually maybe we need to think of like a machine, right? So we can say, this is a working machine. It is working right now. Is the computer working right now? Those are some different things we can use where working is describing the noun, the computer or the machine, right? Maybe you can think of some on your own. That's just an example. Another one would be excited. So we just talked about this, but we might say we're going to go on vacation, right? So we feel excited to go on vacation would be a good example of a sentence for excited. Worried, so again, something is worrying. It makes us feel worried. So you could say, you know, maybe you have a friend who thinks the test is a very worrying thing, and you can say, I know you feel worried, but everything will be okay. So this is talking about how the person feels. Shocking, again, you would feel shocked because something is shocking. So maybe the audience gasped at the shocking scene in the movie. So the scene of the movie was shocking, so people gasped. Why? Because they felt shocked, right? One more, let's say surprised. So again, a surprising thing happened. That surprising thing happened, so someone felt surprised. So you could say, Jane felt surprised because Lily jumped out and yelled boo, right? So that's something that would make her feel surprised because it is a situation that is surprising, okay? Now, if you need to write those down, you can pause the video and you can do that. I'm going to move on to some compound adjectives. Again, this is what we talked about at the beginning, so let's look at this one. This is part-time. Usually what this means is you're doing some kind of work or some kind of activity, but you're not doing it with all of your time. So for example, Mr. Jarret, I work here at Magnet. I'm always at Magnet, which means this is a full-time job. But there are people that are only doing part-time jobs. That means just part of their time. So you could say the university student works a part-time job on the weekends. So you have part-time as the adjective, and what noun is it describing? Is it describing weekend, student, or job? Here it's describing job. This is a job that is part-time, okay? You can have 1 week, so we have 1-week. So we might say we will have a 1-week vacation in December. So again, 1 week is an adjective, and what noun does it describe? December? No, December is a few weeks. We are having a 1-week vacation in December. So it will be a vacation that lasts for 1 week. We have long distance. This is when it's something that's going to take a very long time. So we can say this is a long distance train that goes from one end of the country to the other. Maybe it goes from New York to Los Angeles. It is a long distance train. It is a train that is long distance. So long distance describes the train. I think we talked about this one earlier. We can have a high paying job. So maybe we can say if you work hard in school, you can have a high paying job. So again, we have job. We have an adjective that describes a job. It's not a part-time job. Usually part-time jobs are not high paying, maybe if you're very lucky. But we can say high paying job. If you work hard in school, you can have a high paying job in the future. And then we have factory made. So I think we can figure out what this one means. This means it is something that was made in a factory. It's not homemade. It's not handmade. It is factory made. We can say this cheese is factory made, so it might taste less natural because it's not handmade, right? Okay, so I think we've talked for quite a bit about this. I think that you still have some practice to do in your book, but I hope that I've been very clear here. Just to review, we talked about 2 different types of adjectives, right? What are the 2 types of adjectives? Compound adjectives and participial adjectives. That one is hard to say, especially if you try to say it very fast. Now, compound adjectives, you're using 2 words and you're putting them together. And oftentimes, what do you put between them? You put a hyphen. And we talked earlier about this is helping to make clear what the meaning of that word or what the meaning of the sentence is. Then we have participial adjectives. Do you want to try saying participial? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Participial. Participial. You can keep practicing. Now, this is made from what part of speech? Is it made from a noun? No, this is made from a verb, an action, and we're going to turn this verb into 2 types of adjectives, one that ends with ing, one that ends with ed. If it is ing, it is describing the noun. If it is ed, it is telling you the feeling or something that happened to the noun. So again, be very careful with that and practice. Now, I think you have a lot of practice to do, but like I said, I think I have been working hard to be clear with you about this. If you are unsure about it, you can contact me later, you can ask, but keep practicing and I'm sure you will do a wonderful job. So thank you very much and have a great day. Bye-bye.